So welcome to the video lecture series on principles of compiler design, and today's video lecture will be learning about a significant parsing technique called as CLR parsing. CLR parsing is also called as canonical LR parsing or LR1 parsing. Okay. Now the major or the significant difference between CLR parsing and SLR parsing is we will have to compute and lookahead symbol in CLR parsing. So a lookahead symbol can be computed like this. Say for example, if I have a production called as A tends to alpha dot B beta comma A. Okay. So a symbol which is after this comma is called as a lookahead symbol. Now if that is the case, you can see that dot is before a non-terminal called as B. Then in that case you have to find the closure operation for B, and then you find the lookahead symbol. So the way of computing the lookahead symbol is you take this beta and you take this A, find the first of beta A. Okay. And whatever the symbol you are getting there, and that is considered as the lookahead symbol for the corresponding closure operation of B. So we will take a sample example here. It's called as S tends to E, and E tends to B, and E tends to D. Now the first thing, we have to construct LR1 items here. So how to do that? Now since the starting symbol is called as S, okay, I have to introduce S dash production. So S dash tends to dot S. Okay, since initially a lookahead symbol is dollar, so I make comma dollar here. Now to find the closure operation, what we have to do? So dot is before S. S is called as a non-terminal. So we have to introduce all the productions for S. We have one production for S. What is the production for S? S tends to E. Okay, open brackets, close brackets. E has to be flanked by open brackets and close brackets. So that is the only production for S. So now that introduce that production, S tends to dot E here. Now how to compute this dollar? Okay, we have to find the lookahead symbol. Now see here, the first production is called as dot S. Okay, so B is actually yes. Okay, beta is after that. Okay, beta is actually epsilon and A is actually dollar. Okay, since beta is epsilon, so you will get like this: first of beta is epsilon and A is dollar. So epsilon into dollar is dollar. For first of dollar is actually dollar. So I introduce dollar here. So this is the mechanism. Okay, now we are getting this production. Now I name this item set as item set 0. Now the next is we have to process all these dots till we bring at the end. Now we can see that dot is before S now, so it is an item set 0. So we have to process this I0 comma S. I0 go to of I0 comma S. So go to of I0 comma S, you know that we have to place this dot one step on the right. One step on the right. If we make it, now the equation will become, that grammar will become S dash tends to S dot dollar. Okay, so that's what I have written here. So S dash tends to S dot comma dollar. So I name this item set as item set 1. Now again go to item set 0, see whether dot is before anything. So dot is before open brackets here. So in I0 we have to go to I0 comma open brackets. So go to of I0 comma open brackets, I get this open brackets. So place dot one step on the right. Now it will become open brackets dot E. So S tends to open brackets dot E and curly brackets. Okay, and then we have used a lookahead symbol called as dollar. Now since a dot is before a non-terminal called as E, find the closure operation. So how to find the closure operation here. So how to find the closure operation? So you see, introduce all the productions of E here. So E have two productions. E tends to dot BE and E tends to dot D. Now we have to find the lookahead symbol. So how to find the lookahead symbol? Now closure operation has been found for E here. So B is actually E, beta is open brackets and A is dollar. Okay, so first of close bracket, beta is actually close brackets. First of beta is close brackets, A is dollar, close brackets dollar. First of close brackets dollar, you will get always close brackets because close brackets is called as a terminal here. So that is the answer. So introduce this close brackets in all the subsequent productions. Okay, for all the E production we have introduced, so you have written like this. So now we have done processed all the elements in I0. Now we will come to I1. You see dot is not before any terminal or non-terminal, so I skip it off. Now come to I2. A dot is before E here, isn't it? So go to of I2 comma E. So go to of I2 comma E. When I make it, what will happen is this dot will be placed on the right side, so it will become open brackets E dot close brackets. So now that's what it has been written. I3 tends to S open brackets E dot close brackets dollar. Now name this item set as item set 3. Now come to item set 2 where dot is before B here. Okay. Next we have to process B. Go to of 2 comma B. So go to of 2 comma B. Go to of 2 comma B. So now what will happen here is we place one step this B on the right, so it will become a dot on the right, B dot E it will become. Okay. So E tends to B dot E comma open brackets. Now dot is before a non-terminal, so we have to find the closure operation for E here. So introduce all the productions of E. So E tends to dot BE and E tends to dot T. Okay. Now how to find the look ahead symbol? So we have found the closure operation for E, isn't it? So that is called as B. Anything after that is called as beta. Anything after comma is called as A. Beta is epsilon here. A is actually close brackets. Epsilon into A is A. Okay. So that is close brackets. So first of close brackets. First of close brackets is close brackets. So we have identified that. So that's why I have introduced all these close brackets in all the closure operations for the corresponding non-terminal called as E. Okay. Now you go to I2. We have to process the B here. Now we have to process D. Okay. So go to of I2 comma D. So I2 comma D means we place this dot one step on the right. It will become D dot close bracket. So go to of I2 comma D. It is E tends to D dot close brackets. I name this as item set 5. Now item set 2 has been completed. Now come to item set 3. In item set 3, dot is before a close brackets here. Okay. So go to of item set 3 comma close brackets. So go to of item set 3 comma close brackets. Place this dot one step on the right. So it will become E flanked by open brackets close brackets dot. Okay. That's what we are getting. So when you place one step on the right, it will get S tends to E close brackets open bracket E close brackets and then dot dollar. Okay. So name this item set as item set 6. Now in I3 we have processed completely. Now we'll go for I4. We have to process this dot here. Okay. Before E. So go to of I4 comma E. So go to of I4 comma E produces E tends to BE dot. Place one step on the right. That's it. Okay. Close brackets. I name this as item set 7. Now we will come for I4, process this B. Okay. So I4 comma B. Okay. When I place this, go to of I4 comma B. When I place this dot one step on the right, it will become E tends to B dot E. Okay. B dot E. And then again I have to introduce closure operation for E. So I will get the same item set called as I4. I get the same item set for this. So go to of I4 comma B. I4 comma B generates I4 itself. So I mention it as I4. Okay. If the same item set is repeating, no need to rewrite it. Just mention the name of it. That's all. Okay. Now the next is go to for I4 comma D. You can see here go to for I4 comma D. When I place this dot on the right, I will get E tends to D dot comma close brackets. Okay. That production is already there. E tends to D dot close brackets. That is I5. So go to a 4 comma D. 4 comma D produces I5. 4 comma D produces I5 here. Okay. So that's it. So now when we come to I5, now I4 has been completely processed. I5, no need to process this because dot is at the end. Okay. And when we come to I6, no need to process this because dot is at the end. And similarly, when I come for I7, the case is similar. Dot is at the end. Okay. We can skip it off. Okay. So that's it. Now we have found all the canonical LR items now. Okay. Now what we have to do now is you construct a parsing table for this. So what is a parsing table? How to construct it? You see how many item sets we have. We have item sets spanning from I0 to I7. Okay, so in all the rows write the item sets. Okay, spanning from 0, 1 up to 7 I have written here. Okay, next is you write all the terminals in the column and all the non-terminals in the column. So all the terminals are called as action, all the non-terminals are called as go to. Okay, so up to this is called as action. Up to this it is called as action, and anything after this is called as go to. Okay, now you write all the terminals. The terminals are B, D, close brackets, open brackets, close brackets, and then dollar, S and E. So because these are two non-terminals here. Okay, so now we have to fill it up. So first methodology, you see only the dots before all the terminals here. See only the dots before all the terminals in all item sets. Now see here, in item set 0 I have a dot before S and I have dot before open brackets. Open brackets is called as a terminal. So go to of I0 comma open brackets. Go to of I0 comma open brackets gives me the answer called as I2. Okay, it gives me an answer called as I2. Since it is giving me an answer called as I2, 0 comma open brackets. So 0 comma open brackets, it is I2. So I write it as S2. I write it as S2. Clear? Okay. Now, the next one is, you don't see in I0 where terminal dot is before any terminal. Now come to I1. Okay, dot is not before any terminal. Come to I2. I2, a dot is before B here, a dot is before D here. So these B and D are terminals. So go to of 2 comma B and 2 comma D. Okay, so go to of I2 comma B and I2 comma D. So go to of I2 comma B produces I4 and go to of I2 comma D produces I5. Okay, so I2 comma B, I2 comma B produces I4, so write it as S4, and I2 comma D produces I5, so write it as S5. Okay, S5, S4 means shift. Okay, now come to I3. Okay, come to I3. So I2 has been completely processed. Now come to I3. I3, the dot is before close brackets, isn't it? Okay, go to of I3 comma close brackets, where it goes. Go to of I3 comma close brackets. Go to of I3 comma close brackets produces me called as I6. Okay, I6 means go to of I3 comma close brackets. So I3 comma close brackets is here. It produces I6. So write it as S6. Okay. Then come to I4. Go to of I4 here. So I4, a dot is before B and D. Okay, so 4 comma B and 4 comma D we have to compute it. So I4 comma B, so I4 comma B produces I4 itself, and 4 comma D, I4 comma D produces I5. Okay, so item set 4 comma B produces I4, so write it as S4, and 4 comma D produces I5, so produce S5. So now we have filled up to I4. Okay, now we will see whether in I5 whether there is any dot before any terminals here. In I5 we have a dot. We don't have a dot in I5. Okay, so I5 does not have a dot before a terminal. Now come to I6. Okay, so I6 also we don't have a dot before a terminal. Now come to I7 we don't have a dot before a terminal, and that's it. Okay, so now we have stopped it. Now we have to see dot before a non-terminal, so come to I0. A dot is before a non-terminal called as S. So go to of I0 comma S. So go to of I0 comma S produces the state called as I1. Okay, item set. Okay, so in I0, yes, it produces I1. So since this is a non-terminal, you write it as It produces I1, so write it as simply 1. Okay. Now in I1, dot is not before any non-terminals. Now in I2, dot is before E. So go to of I2 comma E. So go to of I2 comma E. Go to of I2 comma E produces me 3. I3. Okay. So in I2 comma E produces I3. So write it as 3. Okay. Now in I3 there is not dot before any non-terminal. Okay. Now in I4 we have dot before E, isn't it? Okay. So go to of I4 comma E. So go to of I4 comma E. So go to of I4 comma E produces I7. Okay. So 4 comma E. Okay. It produces I7. So write it as 7. Okay. Now come to I5. I5 we don't see a dot before a non-terminal. In I6 also we don't see before a non-terminal. In I7 we don't see a non-terminal. Okay. Now come to now see whether in all item sets whether dot is at the end. Okay. Now in item set 0 we cannot see dot at the end of the production, but in I1 we see a dot. Okay. Okay. So in I1 we see a dot at the end. So what is the lookup symbol? It is dollar. So in item set 1 this is an augmented grammar. Okay, augmented grammar. So augmented grammar means it is actually we have introduced a new grammar called as S dash. Okay. In item set 1 where dollar is there, dollar is here. So write that as accepted, ACC. Okay. Now in item set 2 we don't see a dot at the end. Okay. In item set 3 we don't see dot at the end. Okay. In item set 4 also I don't see a dot at the end. When you come to item set 5 we see dot at the end and E tends to D dot. Okay. But see what is the lookup symbol? It is close brackets. So E tends to D is actually production number 3, isn't it? E tends to D, it comes from E tends to D production. Okay, it is production number 3. So in item set 5 where close bracket is there, close bracket is here. Okay, so in item set 5 close bracket is called as a lookup symbol. So it is production number 3. So simply write it as R3. R3. Okay. Now come to item set 6. In item set 6 we have S tends to E dot at the end, isn't it? Okay. So S tends to E, we have a lookup symbol called as dollar. So in S tends to E is actually production number 1. Production number 1. Okay. Now in item set 6, okay, where dollar is here, I think it's R3. Okay, dollar is here in item set 6. Okay, so we have to write it as production number 1, isn't it? So write it as R1. Okay, now come to I7. So in I7 we have a production B tends to E dot. Okay, a dot is at the end and the lookup symbol is close brackets. So E tends to B dot is actually production number 2. Okay, so in item set 7 in close brackets, okay, write it as R2. So that's about filling the parsing table. Okay, the way of filling the parsing table. Now we will take a valid string. So how to take a valid string? Let us assume that I start with a production called as S tends to E. So this is my production. Okay. Now when you take up this production, so E can also be replaced by B. So inside the brackets, okay, inside the close brackets, I replace this E by B. Replace B. Now you can see that this E can also be replaced by D, isn't it? Okay. So I replace this E by D. Okay. So I will get BD. Okay. So BD, open brackets, BD should be flanked by open brackets and close brackets. This is called as a valid string. Okay. Now we will do processing for this. Okay. So how to process this? We will process this with the help of an example. Take an example here. Okay. Now take an example here. So how to take an example? Listen carefully. So I take a valid string. First is actually a stack. Then we have input. Then we have action. So the valid string is actually BD. Okay, open brackets BD, and the end of should be denoted by a dollar sign. Dollar is called as a delimiter, which denotes the end of the string. Okay, end of the string. So we will start with 0. So 0 is called as the initial item set. Okay, 0 and open bracket. See the action. Okay, in the table. So 0 and open brackets is S2, isn't it? So 0 and open brackets is S2. So I write it as S2 here. Okay. If it is a shift action, what you have to do? You have to shift one element from the stack, one element from the input to the stack. Okay. And then shift this number also. So when I shift it, 0, open brackets is here, and then 2. Okay. So what is remaining? B and D, close brackets, dollar. Okay. Now see, in the left side you have 2, in the right side you have B. Okay. 2 and B. Now check with the parsing table. So 2 and B. 2 and B actually generates me S4. Okay. So 2 and B generates me S4. So I write it as S4. Okay. Now shift means you have to push one element inside the stack. So 0, C2. One element is B here, and then push this 4 inside the stack. 4, and what is remaining? D, close brackets and dollar. D, close brackets and dollar. Now see, 4 is on the left side, D is on the right side. Okay, 4 and D. See with the parsing table. So 4 and D, it is actually generating S5. So 4 and D generates S5. So I write here as S5. Okay, S5 means again you have to shift it. So 0, C, 2, B, 4. Push this D inside. D, 5. Close brackets and dollar. Okay. 5 and close brackets. You see 5 and close brackets. 5 and close brackets, it is R3. Now this is called as a reduce operation. So R3 means it is production number 3. Okay. So production number 3 is E tends to D is called as production number 3. So now you write it as R3. The production is E tends to D. E tends to D. Now how many elements are there on the right side? It is one element. So you have to pop 2 elements from the stack. Pop 2 elements means what will go off? 5 and D will go off. So 0, C, 2, B and 4 will be remaining. Okay. Now push this E inside the stack. That is the left side element. Okay. Push this E inside the stack. Now in the left side you have 4 and right side you have E. Okay. See the table. So 4 and E. Okay. Produces me 7. So push that element also inside the stack. 4 and E produces 7. Okay, 7. Okay, now close brackets, dollar. Okay, now left side you have 7, right side you have close brackets. See the parsing table. So 7 and close brackets, it is R2. Okay, now what is R2? R2 is production number 2, E tends to B. Okay, so we will write here R2, E tends to B and E. Okay, now we have 2 elements on the right side. Okay, that means pop 4 elements from the stack. What will go off? 7, E, 4 and B will go off. So what will be remaining? 0, C, 2 will be remaining. Okay, now push this E inside the stack. So when I push this E inside the stack, left side you have 2 and right side you have E. So check with the parsing table. So 2 and E. 2 and E is actually produces 3. Okay, push that also inside the stack. 2 and E produces 3. Okay, so now you have close brackets. Okay, close E3 and close brackets. Okay, 3 and close brackets. See what is 3 and close brackets here. So 3 and close brackets is S6. Okay, so it is shift action. So 3 and close brackets is S6. S6 means shift action. Push the element input inside the stack. So 0, C, 2, E, 3, close brackets, and push the 6 also inside the stack. Okay, what is the remaining? Dollar. Okay, 6 and dollar. Now see the stack element. 6 and dollar. So 6 and dollar is actually R1. Am I right? Okay, R1. See what is R1. R1 is actually S tends to open brackets E and close brackets. You have 3 elements on the right side. Okay, so now it is R1 S tends to. Okay, now 3 elements is on the right side. Okay, 3 elements on the right side means you have to pop 6 elements from the stack. 6 elements from the stack is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, except 0, everything goes off. So 0. Now push this S inside the stack. Right, push this S inside the stack, and 0 and S. Left side you have 0, right side you have S. Now stick with the parsing table. So 0 and S. Okay, 0 and S actually produces me 1. So now 0 and S produces me 1 and dollar. Okay, now check 1 and dollar. 1 and dollar. Check with the table. 1 and dollar, it is accepted ACC. So you have to write it as accepted. Okay, that means the parsing table, grammar and the string which we have, whatever we have taken is right. So thanks for watching the video. Have a good day.